Council members, can you please take your seats?
They're teaching to be on time.
Sometimes you just gotta hit the gavel. Sergeant at Arms, please call our January 9th, 2024 council meeting to order.
Council of the City of Memphis, because I called to work for the transaction business which was adjourned. All right.
I would like to recognize our chaplain of the day, Pastor Jim Harbin of Raleigh Community.
For you today to lift up the Memphis City Council and his city, Memphis. I also pray for the other leaders in your city. I pray for a special anointing of wisdom that these men and women will know how to govern your people. I pray that you anoint them with wisdom right now in this session. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Councilwoman Logan? Councilwoman Logan, you are recognized. Yeah, go ahead.
How many do you have? How many cards on minutes?
One.
Time next to the.
Thank you, Chair. I'm so excited to have District 1 to open up today, this year, the first one of the year, correct? Yeah. So I want to thank Pastor for coming, and I want to read this resolution in his honor today for being the chaplain. By the City Council, greetings. Be it hereby known that Pastor Jim Harbin, in recognition of a life of exemplary qualities, outstanding service to the city, meritorious involvement in humanitarian affairs, and demonstrated concern for governmental process, has been appointed Chaplain of the Day of the Memphis City Council and is hereby entitled to all of the honors, rights, privileges, and prerogatives appertaining to the office and to the display of this certificate given under this seal this 9th day of January 2024, Chairman J.B. Smiley, presented by Councilwoman Rhonda Logan. And thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Madam Comptroller?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Please call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Councilmember Canale.
Here.
Carlisle.
Here.
Cooper Sutton. Present. Easter Thomas. Present. Ford. Green. Logan. Spinoza.
Here.
Walker.
Present.
Warren.
Present.
Swearingen Washington.
Present.
White.
Present.
Chairman Smiley.
Absolutely, I'm here.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you. I believe Vice Chairman Canale has read the minutes from the December 19, 2023 meeting.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have reviewed the minutes from the previous meeting and find them to be in order, and I move for the adoption of the December 19th meeting minutes. However, I do think you have a card to speak on that.
Absolutely. We have one comment card on the meeting minutes. Virginia McLean. Go ahead. You have 2 minutes.
Great. Thank you, Chairman Smiley. Virginia McLean, 3838 Poplar. It's exciting to be down here today. There's a lot of enthusiasm with all the new and old council members. I don't want to take your time. I really just wanted to mention item number 43 from the previous city council. That was December the 19th. It was voted approved both in subcommittee request and also of the council. And I would like to request today that that part of the minutes be tabled or sent back for further review or sent back to the Parks and Recreation Committee. I believe it's an important decision that the City Council is making and that everybody on the council and the public have the right to know about this agreement. Thank you.
All right, thank you for those comments. We have one council member in the queue, Dr. Warren. The floor is yours, sir.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
I said we have one council member in the queue, Dr. Warren.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm not exactly, what document are you referring to? Is there someone who could, from administration, that can let us know what you're talking about? Because I'm not sure the document, you're talking about the agreement from the city that we voted on?
Correct. It was an agreement. I don't know how loud I am. It was an agreement between Brooks and the city that the city council was voting on. It was a commitment of money. It was a commitment of land. It's an issue that's in the courts right now.
But I mean, wasn't there a document that we voted on that day?
I requested it, and it was not given to me. It was not noticed in the, it was not submitted in your documents. It wasn't online. There was no access to it.
Is Mr. Walker here?
Mr. Walker, could you come to the mic, please? Well, Director Walker.
Okay.
Nick Walker, Memphis Parks Director. I was actually looking around for Chief Adams. I'll be honest. So this was, I believe she's referring to the management agreement between the city and the Brooks.
Right.
Because the financials do not actually change, it is the same term as their current agreement. I don't know that the actual management agreement was shared with council. Typically, on a lot of these, with a lease, we will give you the full lease document, but more often than not, we give the deal points in the term. Okay.
So there is a management document and somewhere.
I believe that what you were authorizing was for the city to be able to execute that document,
Which is,
or the agreement when it is finalized. But I believe that it has not been finalized because of the scenario that she's referring to.
so all we've done is allow the city to
Sign
execute the document once the lawsuit's over.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for making that clear because it hadn't been clear at all. It came across as a vote for financing of $3 million in 2026. So I just think it needs to be cleared up. And if that clears it up, that it's doesn't go into effect until everything's finished or the building's built or whatever, because it is to manage a building that won't be built for 2 years.
Okay, thank you for those comments.
Thank you for getting it clear.
Absolutely. The minutes were moved by Vice Chairman Canali, seconded by Swearinger Washington. Madam Comptroller, please prepare the screen for votes. Can we make sure we helping the new council members with the screens?
Wait one moment for Ms. Cooper Sutton. Are you able to operate your system?
I just did. It should be showing down this time. Thank you.
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton abstained. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Smiley, yes.
This item is approved. All right. Welcome to the January 9th, 2024 regular meeting of the Memphis City Council. Meetings of the council shall be conducted in an orderly manner to ensure that public has the full opportunity to be heard and the deliberate process of the council is retained at all times. The Sergeant at Arms has meeting agendas available up front, as well as comment request cards for the members of the public wishing to be heard on a specific item. All those wishing to speak on an item must turn in their comment card to the Sergeant at Arms before the item is called. If you are not here to speak on a specific item, you can note your request to give general comment at the end of the meeting. As chair, I will only recognize citizens that have properly registered to speak by submitting a completed comment request card to the Sergeant at Arms. Members of the audience and persons addressing the council will not be permitted to engage in gossip, make defamatory, personal, slanderous, or profane comments, or use abusive or vulgar language. The chairperson of the council may maintain order by giving any persons who are in violation of the stated rules of decorum a warning to cease any violative conduct or order to leave the council's chambers, or by giving an order for security personnel to remove any disruptive personnel in the council chambers who refuses to leave voluntarily. Items 1 and 2 will be held until March 19, 2024. Item 19 will be held until February 6, 2024. So we're going to go to item number 3. Absolutely. Item number 3, zoning ordinance, amending ordinance number 5367, the Code Ordinance City of Memphis, Tennessee, adopted on August 10, 2020 as amended, and known as Memphis Shelby County Unified Development Code to authorize. Oh, I'm doing your job. Got it. Madam Comptroller, please call item 3.
You're doing such a good job.
I took your job today. Madam Comptroller, please call item number 3.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 3 is a zoning ordinance amending ordinance number 5367 of Code of Ordinances of City of Memphis, Tennessee, adopted on August 10th, 2010 as amended, known as the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code, to authorize a zoning use district reclassification for land located at 5516 Rains Road by taking the land out of the residential single-family use district and including it in the employment use district. Up for third and final reading, this ordinance is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. The case number is Z23-12. The ordinance number is 5894.
Councilman Canali, you are recognized.
Thank you.
Your mic.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Colleagues, we did not hear this item in committee. In order to save time, so we sent it downstairs with no presentation, no recommendation. I think it is worth noting that at the land use meeting that it received a favorable recommendation, was also approved by DPD. No one spoke in favor or against this item. But, Mr. Chairman, what I would like is for DPD to do a presentation and for the applicant to speak second. And if then there are any questions from you, colleagues, we do that at that point. And with that, I move it to the floor.
Moved by Vice Chair Canali, seconded by Carlisle. Presentation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the council. Look forward to working with you all in the next few years. Brett Ragsdale with the Division of Planning and Development. This is a case Z23012. It's located at 5516 Rains Road, and it is a rezoning request for about 1.6 acres from residential single-family 6 to employment. The location is in southeast Memphis, just to the east of Lamar. And I'll go back here. So you can see on the right, it is a property that's right in the center of the property. That's the vicinity map showing where the notices were sent for the case at Land Use Control Board. On the left, you see the zoning map. And on the right really tells the story. It is the land use map showing the pink star in the center. And all around this property is the land use is industrial. This is zoned, these are 2 parcels still zoned residential single family 6, so it's pretty unusual. The lots are vacant, and here are 2 photos of the properties. We did find the case to be consistent, the request to be consistent with the Memphis 3.0 comprehensive plan. And as Chair Canali mentioned, we did recommend approval to the Land Use Control Board, and the Land Use Control Board is recommending approval to the City Council. This is really, we believe, an anomaly for these two parcels to still be zoned residential single-family 6 in the middle of all the employment, which is employment is a light industrial district. And so we believe that it is consistent with the adjacent land uses and with Memphis 3.0, and we recommend approval, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Doesn't appear to be anyone in the comments. Councilwoman, would you like to ask your questions now, or would you like the applicant to speak?
Sorry, Chairman. Did the applicant need to speak?
Yes.
Let me allow the applicant to speak and then
All right. Can we get the applicant to come to the mic, please?
Thank you. David Bray with the Bray Firm, 2950 Stage Plaza North, Bartlett. We're in agreement with the staff report. Happy to answer any questions that you have. When the gentleman behind me, the owners of these two properties, came to me, I thought the zoning map was a mistake. This is just two parcels that are still residentially zoned in a sea of industrial uses and industrial zoning. So happy to answer any questions you have.
Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, you are recognized. Make sure your mic is on as well. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to make sure, and I did talk with Director, are you Director? Director? Singerman? I did talk to Director John, and I just wanted to make sure, it said in here, because I went online to make sure, it says there's a single family residence, and I wanted to make sure, is anyone living there? We will not be putting anyone out of their home. I went online to see, to make sure, because it says this, are these empty? No one?
Yes, ma'am. These are empty. There's nobody.
Are they empty?
Yeah. I think there may have been a structure on there at some time, but there's not now.
Okay, because I saw a house, and maybe that was old when I went to Google it to do the research, because I saw it was added to the agenda, and just wanted to make sure that we were not allowing an industrial to vacate the people from their homes. So it's empty.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I yield the floor. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cooper Sutton. Councilwoman White, I see you in the queue. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Chairman. I just saw, and I think it was a part of the resolution, and I just wanted to make sure before I agreed to it, it just says consistent with 3.0 plan, and I just wanted to know in what way.
Yes, Councilwoman White, this is, we look at several things. The main thing we look at for this one, if you look at the map on the right with the pink star in the center, the purple is what we call industrial, so that's classified as industrial use. And so this is right in the center of industrial uses. And so the future land map and the current land use is industrial, and so we find it consistent with that current land use and future land use.
Councilwoman White, is there anything else from you?
No, thank you.
All right, it appears that all hearts and minds are clear. Madam Comptroller, could you please prepare the screen for a vote? Council members, please cast your votes.
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Smiley, yes.
This item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item number 4.
Item number 4 is a zoning ordinance amending ordinance number 5367 of Code of Ordinances, City of Memphis, Tennessee, adopted on August 10th, 2010, as amended, known as the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code, to authorize a zoning use district reclassification of land municipally addressed as 3549, 3555, and 3561 Fuller Road from the residential single-family use district and included it in the employment use district. Up for third and final reading, this ordinance is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. It was held from December 19th. The case number is Z23-13. The ordinance number is 5890.
Thank you. Councilman Canali, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Colleagues, again, this item was not heard in committee. It was sent downstairs in order to hear the presentation down here. I think it is worth noting that DPD recommended rejection and the Land Use Control Board recommended approval of this item. But with that, I would like DPD to give a presentation and then hear from the applicant before questions. With that, I move to the floor, Mr. Chairman.
The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Brett Ragsdale with the Division of Planning and Development. This is, again, a rezoning case, Z23-013. And I think Chair Canali already mentioned the addresses, and the applicant is Fleet Equipment LLC, represented by Ms. Cindy Reeves. And so this request is, again, a rezoning from residential single-family 6 to employment. It's slightly less. It's about a little over half an acre. The location is very close to the last case. It's closer to Lamar. It's just off of Lamar to the east on Fuller Road. This is the vicinity map showing in the center is the blue, the darker blue are the properties requested to be rezoned, and then the properties that are in light blue are the properties that were sent notice of the Land Use Control Board meeting. In the center is the, in highlighted in yellow or outlined in yellow, are the 3 properties requested to be rezoned, and Fuller is the street that they're on, and it's a short dead-end street that is commercial and industrial toward Lamar, and then as you go back toward the east, it is single-family residential. The property owner is the large property to the south or to the bottom of the screen here, and they are requesting this rezoning. Here's the land use map as we looked at before. The purple is industrial, the red is commercial, the light pink just across Fuller to the north is office, and then adjacent to it to the northeast is single-family residential. So these 3 parcels are single-family residential right now, and the request is to rezone those to where they would be the purple that would continue. This is a screenshot of the Memphis 3.0 land use map. So it shows the subject property that's in the center here. It's not outlined, but these 3 parcels here. And so this color here is residential single-family neighborhood future land use. This is an existing house that the applicant has purchased and I believe turned into an office. So there were, on these 3 properties, there were 3 structures. This is one of them that I believe they turned into an office. This is another one of the structures. And then this is the, they have turned this into an additional parking lot, I believe, for employee parking. And so when this was done without permitting or approval, and so there is already encroachment into the single-family district. And here are just some photos of the street. It is, it's really close to industrial. However, it is a street that is single-family and that there are owner occupants on this street. And so this is a photo of the southern, it's the southeast 2 properties. These are 2 owner occupied, and you can see the parking lot just to the right of this. And here's another, just a recent Google Street View of that. And so this is coming to you with a slightly different recommendation than the last one. We did find at DPD that that this was inconsistent with Memphis 3.0 and that it would have an injurious impact on the adjacent residential properties. So we did recommend rejection. However, the Land Use Control Board did recommend approval to the City Council. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
We have a couple questions in the queue. We'll allow the applicant to speak before we go to the individual council members. Could the applicant approach?
Cindy Reeves, SR Consulting, 5909 Shelby Oaks Drive, Suite 200. We agree with the Land Use Control Board. This is an industrial area. It's at Lamar Avenue and American Way. You've got Love's Truck Stop. You've got all industrial to the west and to the south. And we feel that the interstate drop yard has been a very good neighbor. They've added 24-hour security. They're open, 365 days a week. They only store trailers. They don't store any cabs. There's not any people that are actually staying in this lot, and it's secure. You go in one way and you go out that same way. So they know everything that's going on in their lot. They have cameras, they have lights. They know their neighbors. They have been a good neighbor with them. We will work with them with some additional fencing that we feel will help with the neighbors. But we feel that adding this additional property that we own and being able to tear down the middle house that they just purchased will help clean up that street, and that will also allow it to be more uniform with what is going on. I had a presentation, but and just to save time, I will hold off on that unless there's some questions that the city council wants. So this is a dead-end street, as staff said, and if we've also talked with the two adjacent neighbors, and when they are ready to sell their homes, then we would like to be able to give them a fair price for their houses also.
Okay.
I'm here for any questions.
Okay, thank you. We have two council members in the queue. Councilman Carlisle, you're recognized.
Thank you. Could we pull the aerial photo back up that shows the parcel? Actually has the parcel. Yeah, keep going. Right, one more. Go, yeah, that's better. My issue, and actually go back one more, Brett. So this is, yeah, right there's perfect. This is my issue is it is predominantly industrial, but you actually have a neighborhood that is existing today, and you're encroaching in on it more and more. You're just chipping away. And so, especially when you've got owner-occupied houses that looks like they were in fairly good shape. I haven't obviously driven the Cove, but it's encroachment. The other thing that I take issue with, this is run across this body, and it's like a real sore spot for me, is you have a sophisticated operation that should have the wherewithal to understand local code and zoning. I guarantee you if they're refinancing their trucks, that they're probably talking to attorneys and bankers. And so I don't understand how they went in and turned, right now they shouldn't even be operating an office. That cannot possibly be a commercial office, even if it was a house, cannot possibly be a use that is under R6. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so that needs to cease operating today, tomorrow, period. Where's Robert? Connect. Y'all need to go out there and cease operations in that building, because that irritates me. And then to say, hey, we went and tore down a house and built a parking lot as if that is a fair swap is a problem for me. So I understand that they are the rightful property owners, but the issue that I've got now is there's continued encroachment, and this isn't a planned development, this is a zoning change. And so there's no way for the council to attach any sort of covenants or restrictions or buffers or anything on the current property. Once this zoning change takes effect, I mean, it's over. EMP is the most broad, high use that we have. So I've got questions and concerns about how it's been handled thus far. And I can tell you this right now, whatever those two property owners are, and they have four across the street, whatever the value of their home is today, if they keep encroaching, it's going to go down tomorrow. They can be the best neighbors. It's no, what is it, Fleet Equipment LLC? It's no slight on the owner. That is just what happens when you have encroachment of heavy industrial onto residential properties. It doesn't drive property values up, it drives them down. And so that's what's gonna happen. So I don't necessarily know that I've got a fix other than to potentially reject it. But I think what I would suggest is I'd like to hold the item. I don't want to litigate this. We're already an hour behind. I'll defer to the council member whose districts this sit in, but I've got a lot of questions about the case and where it sits and what's going on. And I'm not really comfortable about what has occurred, has transpired. I'm not very happy about that because I think this council has to send a clear message that the oops, I didn't know I opened up an auto repair shop / tore down a house and built a parking lot has got to stop. And so those are my comments, but I'll defer any motion to the representative from District 3 or any Super 8 member. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you for those comments, Councilman Carlisle. We have Cooper Sutton in the queue, followed by Councilwoman Logan. Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. I concur with Councilman Carlisle. He took every piece of word out of my mouth. I reject it. There's no permit, and we cannot continually allowing this to happen. Chief Connect, go and get it and check it out and see. The zoning is no. That is District 3, which is you, my colleague, Pearl. Correct. And we have not talked to the residents and to see how they feel. It will take their property value down, and what you would try to offer them will be nickels and pennies. So, no. And so I reject it, and I stand with you. Yeah, I want to hold it, and because I want to talk to the residents, and I'm going out there to talk with them and see where they stand. Okay.
So I would, Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, you said you want to hold it, but I want to clarify, are you moving that we hold this item?
Yes, clarity. I'm moving that we hold this item.
Is there a second to this? Second.
I second.
Seconded.
Mr. Chairman, 2 weeks. How long will we hold it?
What? 2 weeks, fine. It appears to be without objection. This item will be held for 2 weeks. Well, before we go forward, I know Councilwoman Logan is still in the queue. We're going to go to Councilwoman Logan.
I just wanted to note too, we've talked about this quite a bit, Director Zahner. We just want to make certain that the Land Use Control Board and the DPD understand, they approve this. So we really want to make certain that we're looking at what we're doing and how we're moving. Because you all know how the council feels and how the community feels about community input and those types of things. Now, if this is something that's by right, that's different. But I just wanted to note that because both entities approved.
Well, I think I do want to clarify on their particular item. I think Department of Planning and Zoning, I think they rejected it. And could you clarify that?
Yeah. John Zena, Planning and Development. DPD recommended rejection on this case.
Well, it says DPD recommendation approval on here.
I believe that's the prior item.
The wrong item.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm on the wrong one.
But this item
But that still, holds. We want to make sure that we're all
well taken,
aligned
and
around
we
those
continue to try to educate the Land Use Control Board on the importance of consistency and following consistency, and we'll continue to do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, this item has been held.
Thank you.
All right. Madam Comptroller, please call the consent agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That will take us to item number 5, a notation from the Land Use Control Board that the following case was heard and recommendation made requesting a date of public hearing for case number PD 23-25, Memphis Urban Wood Plan Development. That suggested date is February 6, 2024. Item number 6 is a resolution accepting public improvements for homes and mineral wells plan development, First Amendment, parcels A1 and C, phase 16, and releasing bond. That contract number is CR-5387, and there is a request for same night minutes. Mr. Chairman, that concludes our consent agenda items.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Can I get a motion for the adoption of the consent agenda for items 5?
I'm in the queue.
Oh, sorry, Councilwoman Easter Thomas. Councilwoman, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I motion that we remove item number 5 from the consent agenda without objection.
I second.
Moved by Easter Thomas, seconded by Yolanda Cooper Sutton. It appears that we can do this by acclamation. Any opposed? All right, item number 5 is removed from the consent agenda. Okay, go ahead. There's some point of information from.
Yep. So we don't have here today a complete presentation, so I am not representing this group in that. I know, I can read. All right. All right, I see February 6th on there. However, the removal is because the Valentine Evergreen community and those surrounding do not feel as though it even needs to go to a meeting, that it needs to be stopped as it is. So this project is for a biomass campus. Now we just had on item number 4 where we talked about certain entities not being able to do certain things in communities, and yet we have questions and faces on item number 5. So let's just remember what we just said on number 4. This is proposing a biomass campus that is on the edge of the Valentine Evergreen community. I have today sent you letters from, I think it may be too late for comments card, but I'll let the chair say that. I sent you letters from those in the Valentine Evergreen community in opposition to this project. I can't give you particulars on it because I'm not doing it, but for the most part, it's biochar, it's biomass, it's burning and incinerating wood and producing that back into the air pollutants for people in the community, me, and others. And so we are ostensibly against that. So pulling this, I see that it is for setting a meeting, but in my opinion, it doesn't need a meeting. It needs to be stopped at this point. So that's what I'm asking for. I don't know if it's anyone that represents this group or organization or can talk about anything, because there are a lot of confused, I won't say confused faces, but there are a lot of different faces on my colleagues, but I'm asking that it's removed from the consent agenda. I know what it says, and I know what I said. So that's what I'm asking for.
I know there is one objection to that.
Yeah, all it needs one objection to have a vote on it. But I'm speaking to the motion.
Okay, speak to the motion, and I'm going to go to Attorney Wade.
So the issue is that 4 and 5 are different. 4 had an opportunity to have a public meeting. 4 had an opportunity to come down and be presented to the council with both sides arguing its case, for the council then to make a determination to make claims that we can't justify because the applicant themselves are not here to refute those claims or to agree with them, whether or not it's an incinerator or not, is wildly unfair. And honestly, I would defer to Mr. Wade, probably opens up us to litigation, because there's a process that must be followed under the Unified Development Code. And to violate that process, like serving notice, opens us up to litigation. I'll ask Mr. Zena if that's an accurate statement. Like, all they're asking for is to send notices out that the meeting's going to occur, and then their day to have their day in court, so to speak, is on February 6th.
So I'm going to go, this appears to be a contentious issue, and I will ask Attorney Wade to talk us through the process that's surrounding item number 5, so we can know what exactly this means and what happens if we remove this from the consent agenda, because it appears to be setting a date. So
Okay,
could you explain this process for us?
A couple of things. One, our rules require us to provide a public hearing. 2, if you want to defeat it, you defeat it on February 6th, not here. If we fail to give them a public hearing, they basically have a good argument in court that we denied them the opportunity to be heard before we defeated their item, which is similar to the argument made in the Memphis record case that we just won in Chancery Court. So I would suggest that you hold your powder until February 6th, and then if you want to vote it down then, but you have to allow them the opportunity to be heard.
Can I?
Councilwoman Nisa Thomas, you heard the advice of counsel.
Yep.
Do you want to continue with
So I'll take back my motion and ask that we hold this for 2 weeks so they can be able to come and give us information as we are able to approve their meeting set for February 6th.
Is there Is there a second to that motion?
So if they come back on the 23rd, then we can hear what we're approving for a meeting. And we can still approve the meeting.
Point of information,
But
Mr.
I
Chair.
still want everyone else to hear what I already know as a district representative.
So I want to, if you have a question or point of information,
It's
could you
point of
give me,
information.
Councilman
Is there
Warren?
a certain time period that a public meeting has to be set and publicized beforehand? Because, and they're only suggesting this date, so we can hold it for 2 weeks and we can have the date 30 days later. I just want to make sure that we do the right date or the time frame. That's my question.
Attorney Wade, can you speak to that, or someone in Director
John
Zena?
Zena, Planning and Development. The date of February 6th allows time after you take a vote to set the public hearing for public notice to be sent pursuant to the Unified Development Code. If you were to hold this item for 2 weeks, the date of the public hearing would also have to be rolled another 2 weeks so that we would have abundant
That's
time
fine
to
with
send
me.
public notice.
That's fine with me.
So Attorney Wade, it appears that you have something else to say. To
Under
add.
UDC, is there an outside date for when you have to have the public hearing? So many days after?
Says we have to forward the matter within 60 days. Attorney Wade, the requirement is that the matter be forwarded to the appropriate governing body no more than 60 days after the Land Use Control Board's action, which we have already forwarded this case.
Okay.
So I think that, with respect to what you're asking, that has been satisfied.
Okay, so if we were to set the date, what's our second meeting in February? 20? 20th. So if we set the date to February 20, then that pushes it out. And if the councilwoman then wants to have some preliminary discussion at one of our committees or meeting, we can do that. But that allows them to go ahead and get the meeting notices out and have a date certain. And then that way people will know when they have to come and address it. That pushes it out. And so I don't know what you want to do in that 2 week period, but whatever it is, you can do it because we've moved the date 2 weeks out.
Councilwoman?
I'd like for it to be moved to our next agenda and request Memphis Urbanwood LLC, the applicant, to be able to come and tell us about it while we're doing our vote.
Okay, is there a second to that motion? So there's a second to that motion. I think you have seconded by Councilwoman Logan. It doesn't appear to be any objection.
I have a question.
So there's a point of information by Councilman McNally. Can I ask McNally?
Attorney Wade, can you hear from the applicant before we've heard the case?
You technically could, but I don't think you want to have two public hearings, which is what the councilwoman seems to be wanting. She wants to have a public hearing before you have the public hearing. I mean, I don't know.
If you have a public hearing, you still have to have
We
public
can take it back into
notice.
committee and have a discussion in committee, but we need to just set one public hearing date, not two.
So there is a motion on the floor. It's been properly second. It appears that there is some.
Point of information for Attorney Wade. It's
Councilwoman
hard to hear too. I don't know if we can turn Attorney Wade's mic up. But so what you're saying, Attorney Wade, is that if we ask them to present in next council meeting, that is essentially two public hearings.
Yes.
So the better resolve is to ask for it to come to committee.
Yeah, what I think to accomplish what you want, I think the best thing to do is to have February 6, 2024 as the public hearing. At that date, if you want to then delay the public hearing from that point, you can start to talk about it and then delay it subsequent to that. I mean, I think you need to go ahead and have a date where people can come and talk about it. And then if you don't want to decide it on that date, move it 2 weeks from there. Then they can come back after they understand what's going on and have another bite at the apple if they want to.
Okay, noted. So thank you, Attorney Wade, for that. So I'll remove my motion, just being transparent. My whole goal is to kill it. So when it comes back on February the 6th, that's what I'll be fighting for, to not have this in my neighborhood and for the children of the neighborhood. Thank you. I remove the motion, Chair.
Okay, Councilwoman Easter Thomas has removed the motion. We have two comment cards. I'm going to read. I'm just going to let it read. We have two comment cards. Lenora, sorry if I butcher your name, Lenora Pipkin. Yes, Ms. Pipkin, could you please come to the mic?
Good afternoon. My name is Lenora Pipkin. I did not come prepared to speak. However, I had asked, but I was told that I was told that there would be no speaking. It just was just the consent. But I live at 1328 North Willette, which is 1,500 feet from where this sawmill biomass plant is wanting to come. I was not notified because I live more than 500 feet. So therefore, I heard this word of mouth. I have called and I have talked to Mr. Jeff, the one that did this planning. I have talked to Mr. Ragsdale concerning this. It's a chemical plant and it's going to be burning something to turn into biochar. That's something like charcoal. So I didn't know I was just 2 minutes. But council people, please, this is something coming to my neighborhood, which is a sawmill and a biomass plant. So please think about it. Would you want something like that coming to your neighborhood? This, please do not approve. I was hoping you would just send it back. It hadn't even been approved by the health department. If the health department don't think it should come in that neighborhood, why is it even here? So I just can't understand it. Nobody has been able to explain that to me. So thank you, appreciate it. I want, when you all go home tonight, think about it. You wouldn't want a sawmill in your neighborhood and something that's burning something in your neighborhood. Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you for those comments, Attorney Wade.
Mr. Chairman, I think she was told that we don't entertain debate on consent, but I think because she's outside the 500-foot radius notice period, we can ask staff to make sure that she gets hand-fed notice to be here on the 6th of February. Make sure that she's always alerted about this project.
Absolutely. Let's make sure. I have another comment card, but it's not appropriately filled out by Ms. Stephanie Walker. Ms. Walker, you're not supposed to. Apparently, I did something that's not customary, but since we've applied it, please give your name, your address, and I will fill that out completely. Okay.
Stephanie Walker, 786 North McNeil Street, Memphis, Tennessee.
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, no. Easter Thomas, no. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Warren, yes. And Chairman Smiley, yes.
This motion passes. Madam Comptroller, please call the consent agenda for items 7 through 11.
The fiscal consent
The
agenda?
physical consent agenda for items 7 through 11.
I got it. Thank you. Item number 7 is a resolution to accept grant funds in the amount of $400,000 from the United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs for the FY23 Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Programs. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Police Services. There is a request for same night minutes. Item number 8 is a resolution to accept grant funds in the amount of $250,000 from the United States Department of Justice Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services for the FY23 Law Enforcement Agency De-Escalation Grant Program. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Police Services. There is a request for same night minutes. Item number 9 is a resolution to accept grant funds in the amount of $250,000 from the United States Department of Justice Programs for the BJA FY23 Collaborative Crisis Response and Intervention Training Program. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Police Services. There is a request for same night minutes. Item number 10 is a resolution to accept grant funds in the amount of $200,000 from the State of Tennessee Department of Commerce and Insurance for the Tennessee Law Enforcement Hiring, Training, and Recruitment Grant Program. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Police Services, and there is a request for same night minutes. Item number 11 is a resolution to accept grant funds in the amount of $2 million from the United States Department of Justice Programs for the FY23 Body-Worn Camera Policy and Implementation Program. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Police Services. There is a request for same night minutes. Mr. Chairman, that concludes our fiscal consent agenda items.
Thank you. This item was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Warren. Doesn't appear to be any council members in the queue. Could you please prepare the screen for a vote on the fiscal consent agenda?
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Smiley, yes. Show Councilmember Cooper Sutton as voting yes, and also Councilmember White as voting yes.
All right. This item passes. The MLGW Fiscal Consent Agenda. Madam Comptroller, please call the MLGW Fiscal Consent Agenda items number 12 through 18.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 12 is a resolution approving change number 3 to contract number 12202, network maintenance with Converge One, Inc., in the funded amount of $1,110,072.11. Item number 13 is a resolution approving the ratification of purchase order number 7046157 to Brighter Days and Nights, Inc. for S1 and S2 electric pedestals in the amount of $1,466,000. Item number 14 is a resolution approving the ratification of purchase order number 7046271 to Mansfield Oil Company of Gainesville, Inc. for unleaded and diesel fuel in the amount of $7,098,669.56. Item number 15 is a resolution approving the ratification of purchase order number 7051332 to Auto Nation Ford Memphis for 10 one-ton cab and chassis trucks with service bodies in the amount of $634,907.60. Item number 16, resolution approving the ratification of purchase order number 7045929 to Stewart C. Irby Company for arm apatong dead ends, 96 feet, in the amount of $347,500. Item number 17 is a resolution approving the ratification of purchase order number 7016142 to Anixter Inc. for number 2 triplex cable in an additional amount of $8,395.89. And our final item is number 18, a resolution approving change number 3 to contract number 12186, Family Medical Leave Act with Unum Group to ratify and renew the current contract in the funded amount of $140,550. Mr. Chairman, that concludes our MLGW fiscal consent items.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Councilman Spinoza, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chief McGowan, surprise, surprise, sir. How are you? Mr. Chair, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask Chief McGowan to just come up and call it an educational experience and just kind of share what I believe to be the simplicity of the MLGW fiscal consent. But if you don't mind, Chief, could you please explain it to the body?
Chief McGowan, well, President McGowan, you're recognized.
Yes, that's fine.
I'm going to call him Chief.
Explain the fiscal consent agenda. What was the other item? Oh, the simplicity, yes. So thank you, Doug McGowan, Memphis Light Gas and Water, 220 South Main Street. City Council is the approver of expenditures of the MLGW budget. Our Board of Commissioners approves our annual budget. It comes to you for approval. And then any expenditure that MLGW makes in excess of $250,000 must be approved by the Memphis City Council. Now, that's whether I have a contract, when I contracted, that is greater than $250,000, you must approve that, or whether I have a contract that's less than $250,000 that I can approve and the Board of Commissioners can approve, and then we renew the contract can exceed $250,000. So you'll see today an example. We have an $8,000 approval. That's clearly less than $250,000. What that means to you is that $8,000 I have somewhere along the line exceeded the $250,000 authority that I have. And so I have to come to you anytime that I expend one more cent beyond $250,000, whether we knew we were going to do that in advance because it was a very large contract or because the contract grew through renewals. So what you will see here is things that have been vetted and approved by the Board of Commissioners, anything above $250,000, or if it is a lease in excess of several years, I will also have to bring that to you. So that's what you're seeing here on the agenda here today. I want to mention to you that all of these things were heard by the Board of Commissioners in 2023. So these are items that are being forwarded so that we can execute on these contracts in 2024.
Thank you, President McGowan. So with that being said, I also want to let the body know and the citizens of Memphis know I look forward to leading the MLGW committee with Councilwoman Walker. And we're going to have a lot of fun working with President McGowan and continuing to educate folks and take care of the citizens of Memphis. So with that, I recommend approval of the MLGW fiscal consent.
Can you do it electronically? It's been moved. It was moved by Spinoza and seconded by Warren. Attorney Wade wants to speak. Attorney Wade.
I just want to address the simplicity question. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items. The simplicity is because these have been vetted by the board. They're routine contract approvals. We can dispose of them with 1 vote rather than 7 votes. So that's what the simplicity is about. Anytime you have a question about any item, you can move to pull it off of consent and have it dealt with separately. But absent that, we will deal with them collectively rather than individually.
Thank you so much. It appears that all hearts and minds are clear. Madam Comptroller. Could you please prepare the screen for a vote? Madam Controller, could you please, yeah, there we go. Okay.
Council members, please cast your vote for MLGNW.
That's enough outbursts. If we outburst again, I'm gonna ask the Sergeant Holmes to please remove him.
For the MLGNW, Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Spinoza, yes. Show Councilmember Logan is voting yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Smiley, yes.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. This item passes. Item number 22. Madam Comptroller, please call item number 22.
Item number 20, Mr. Chairman.
22.
22, thank you. Item number 22 is City Attorney Chief Legal Officer appointment, Tanara Gibson, and there is a request for same night minutes.
Councilman Canale, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee met, recommended approval, and I so move.
Moved by Canale, seconded by Warren. It appears that all hearts and minds are clear. Can we please prepare the screen for a vote?
Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Smiley, yes. And please show Cooper Sutton is voting yes on this appointment of Tanara Gibson.
This item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item number 23.
Item number 23, Director of Fire Services, reappointment, Gina Sweat. There is a request for same night minutes.
Councilman Canale, you're recognized.
Chairman, the committee met, recommended approval, and I so move. Moved by Carlisle. He jumped the gun.
You can have your moment.
Thank you.
Moved by Canale, seconded by Councilman Spinoza. Madam Comptroller, please prepare the screen for a vote.
Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Smiley, yes.
This item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item number 24.
Item number 24, Director of Information Services, appointment, Eric King. There is a request for same night minutes.
Councilman Canale, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee met, recommended approval, and I so move.
Moved by Canale, seconded by Warren. It appears that all hearts and minds are clear. Madam Comptroller, please prepare the screen for a vote. We have a comment card on this item, I'm gonna, 24. So hold the vote on this one. Ms. Pamela Moses, please.
Pamela Moses, 2383 Jackson Avenue. Thank you so much for letting me speak in our house. I want to first say that the city is making a very bad decision appointing this man from FedEx. It's going to cause us to be subject to terrorist attacks. FedEx is $1 billion corporation. It's got its hands in too many plates over here with the city. We already got the name on the form, which we own, the city, the taxpayers. And so if you bring somebody here who has built the infrastructure for the IT at FedEx, he's going to basically duplicate what he did then, and it's going to make us more susceptible to terrorist attacks. Okay, look at what just happened in New York. They want you to believe that a train was derailed. No, it was a IT issue that can be done with my phone. I can shut down the whole city and black it out. So if you want to hire this man to run our IT when you all in the dark, remember Pamela Moses told you. Also, on January the 1st, the city council members took an oath to uphold the federal and state constitution. The MLGW advocacy group and Black Lives Matter have had their emails blocked from the social media. The U.S. Supreme Court has deemed social media in the public modern square where constituents can petition their elected representatives as a way to engage them. Chairman Smiley, I don't know if you're the one who has blocked us from talking on Twitter, but you're in violation of federal law, and I'm asking you politely to unblock all of us who you have blocked. We have a right to address our grievances and complaint, and you're a lawyer, so you should appreciate the First Amendment. Thank you.
Thank you for those public comments. Council members, well, voting screens up. Please cast your votes.
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes.
Walker's.
Chairman Smiley, yes. And Councilmember Cooper Sutton, please show her as voting yes as well. Anybody else?
Can we get Councilwoman Cooper Sutton some help over here?
Unanimous, great.
All right, this item passes. Absolutely. Madam Comptroller, please call item number 25.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 25 is a resolution approving material terms of development commitment of Blue Suede Networks LLC to design, build, operate, and maintain a citywide fiber to the premises network in the city of Memphis pursuant to substitute ordinance number 5887, all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the administration, and there is a request for same night minutes.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Councilman Canale, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee recommended approval, and this item was moved by Councilman Dr. Jeff Warren.
Seconded by Councilman Spinoza. There's one question. Councilwoman Walker, you're in the queue.
I didn't have a question. I had a comment.
The floor is yours, Councilwoman.
Yes, so this process started before I made it to the council, but as I've mentioned earlier a couple of times today, that I did campaign on closing the information gap, and I am so excited over this project. I know that it's going to mean a lot for the citizens of Memphis as well as the city of Memphis, and it's just going to help us be more progressive, and this is good. This will just feed a lot of needs that we have. And once again, yeah, I'm repeating myself, but I am so excited over this, and congratulations and good luck to Blue Suede.
Absolutely. All right, it appears that all hearts and minds are clear. Madam Comptroller, could you please prepare the screen for a vote?
Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Smiley, yes.
This item passes.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
All right, this brings us back to our regular agenda. Madam Comptroller, please call item number 20.
Item number 20 is a resolution to create a City of Memphis Fleet Task Force to provide recommendations to the Division of General Services and City Council for implementation of best practices for the maintenance and procurement of the City of Memphis's fleet. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Councilman Carlisle.
Councilwoman Swearingen Washington, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met, recommends approval, and I so move.
Can someone do it electronically?
I did.
There we go. Moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Spinoza. Appears that all hearts and minds are clear. I have no comment cards. Could you please prepare the screen for the vote, Madam Comptroller? Council members, cast your votes.
Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Smiley, yes.
This item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item number 21.
Item number 21 is a resolution transferring allocation from $3 million from Mud Island River Park contract construction to further capital improvements to Tom Lee Park. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the administration.
All right. Dr. Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Committee met, recommended approval, but I'm getting information from administration that we do not have the appropriate, didn't we recommend approval last time this came up? The committee met and there was no recommendation. Okay. And I've been told by administration, I'm going to call on Mr. Wade to perhaps explain this to us, that there's a problem with the resolution as it's written.
Yeah, we don't have GO bonds. I'm just going to move to table.
And I'm waiting on us. Go right ahead. So Mr. Wade, can you explain? Someone came and told me that they wanted us to pull this, but I'm wondering why.
Okay, we were told by finance that it's not in proper form, and also the money is no longer there to be allocated.
So A, there's no money, and B, it's not in proper form. And
Dr. Warren, before you continue, I do want to recognize Councilwoman Easter Thomas. Councilwoman Easter Thomas.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to recuse myself from any more deliberation and possible vote for the possible financial interest. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Warren. Back to you, sorry.
Councilman Carlisle said he has a motion to table.
Yeah, just to the point of the form, the original resolutions referenced GO bonds. No GO bonds were ever issued for the project. It was capital pay-go. So the resolution in its form and substance was wrong. And even if a warrant, to Mr. Wade's point, there's no cash in GO bonds or capital pay-go left in that project. Therefore, I move to table this item until the administration has reconvened with the partnership to figure out how they want to fund or at least bring it to consideration. So I move to table this item.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
All right, there's a motion to table.
I do so without objection, Mr. Chairman.
Are there any objections? Doesn't appear to be any objections. This item is tabled.
That concludes my items.
All right.
I had a comment on
that. Mr. Kent, could you? The item has been tabled. If it comes back before, please pull the comment card. Thank you. This brings us to Mr. Kent. Could you please be seated? Be seated. Be seated. You will be able to speak at the end of the during the general comments. Thank you. This item has been tabled. This brings us to our same night minute items. Vice Chairman Canale, would you please read the same night minute items into the record?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, the same night minute items are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 22, 23, 24, and 25, and I so move.
Thank you. It's been moved by Vice Chairman Canale and seconded by Carlisle. Madam Comptroller, please Could you prepare the screens for vote?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The screen is ready.
Sorry.
A few more votes for the same night minutes if they're coming.
Jeff?
Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Smiley, yes.
Thank you. This item passes. Sergeant at Arms, well, there are many public comments. Mr. Kent, could we please put 2 minutes on the screen? I'm going through them. Go ahead.
I have two, okay. I just want to add some color to that vote on the tabling motion, which I'm in support of. Joe Kent, 5111 Flamingo. The $3 million should be immediately killed based on all the demerits of MRPP, which include a botched concert project in conflict between the heavily publicly subsidized MRPP and unsubsidized Memphis and May that results now in 2 competing barbecue contests. This is akin to the city wetting its own bed. Then you just don't have the information to discuss this item, much less consider the $3 million from MRPP without a Riverfronts project update involving approximately $100 million in public spend to include the Cobblestones Landing project where the contractor was paid for work they did not complete. At the same time, the adjacent MRPP managed TLP project was proceeding. This resulted in approximately $10 million in more public cobblestone money. Today, the elevators don't work at the Mud Island Garage and the flyover to the City Hall is closed. Next, as of noon today, MRPP's June 30th financials are unpublished on the controller website, pointing to the probability that MRPP has not filed them on time. To even discuss the item, much less consider it, you need the following information: a full update on riverfront projects involving approximately $100 million in public spend, as well as MRPP's audited FY23 financials, along with the current financials. Here's the thing. It is impossible for the council to be data-driven without having owned and project data by the city council. The administration data is not your data, and I have a solution I'll be proposing to all of you as a sole proprietor of small business. Now, I was told that you as council members would not spend the time to learn about your very own data that you own after historic city councils have listened to hours and days upon days of presentations of other people's data, of others' own data. I don't believe that, and I have faith in you. In closing, I will reassert it is impossible for the council to be data-driven without council on data.
Mr. Kent, Mr. Kent, you have 2 comment cards. We only usually allow 1 if you want 30 seconds.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Thank you. As I publicly oppose the actions of former Councilor Patrice Robinson regarding the most recent MLGW rate increases, after one of the meetings, she calmly took us to her office, Ray Bauer, and founder of the 21st Century or Bust, and myself offered yours truly the MLGW financial documents. Why? She trusted me to use the needed information to hold MLGW accountable. Today, MLGW has at least $150 million in excess cash on their balance sheet. Why is excess cash on a public balance sheet a potential problem? Because it gets slushed out to entities that don't need the public assistance. In fact, MLGW just recently slushed out $27 million for a spectrum band purchase that will not benefit ratepayers for 40 years. Wait a second. What about the time?
Keep going. You got 15 seconds. Hurry up. Huh? Come on, finish.
Then there is the excessive $228 million tree trimming contract, $16 million paving contract, and $18 million customer service outsourcing contract. With excess cash on their balance sheet, Edge, who is not associated an entity with suburban municipal bodies, slushed out millions to suburban chambers, botched workforce development initiatives, and FedEx, using largely South Memphis Depot proceeds. And at the airport, after going through the expense of a price bid for cleaning regarding the award of $20 million contract per the Daily
Mr. Kent, I need you to wrap up your comments. Wrap up your comments.
That was almost 2x the cost of the low bid. The new airport CEO, Terry Blue, said regarding the almost $10 million in excessive difference award, this is not intended to be a low bid proposal, but best in class. So forget the $10 million. Airport member Jack Salmon stepped in to break down for all of us so we could understand. Salmon said, in my business, I find that there are two types of mechanics, those who can fix and those who can't. And there are those types of janitorial services as well.
Mr. Kent, your time your time's run out, sir. The time's run out. We appreciate your public comment as always. We have another comment card by Bishop Brandon Porter. Bishop, are you here? All right, Bishop Brandon Porter appears to be no longer with us today. Dennis, I will butcher your last name. I do not want to get it incorrect. Dennis Ostro? Okay, Ostro, okay. Name and address for the record.
Dennis Ostro, 719 Hawthorne Street, Memphis 38107. I'm here to speak against, I guess, what was item 19, healthcare benefits subsidies for all of you after 2 terms. Public service was never intended to be a windfall for those who chose to serve. Our forefathers never intended for public service to be a profession. Each of you currently serving on council are well within your financial well-being to afford health care post-service. In 22, Nashville did away with its health care ordinance, which was passed in 2020. At the time the ordinance was rescinded, it cost Nashville taxpayers $800,000 annually. Shelby County proposed a similar plan for its commissioners, and while it was passed by the commissioners, it was vetoed by Mayor Luttrell, and the veto was upheld. Bartlett only offers subsidized health care to their council at the same rate as full-time employees, and only in effect while they're holding office. As a 15-year Navy veteran, I received no health subsidies.
All right, we're not going to have any outbursts. If you outburst again, I'm going to ask
Every day of my service,
Cedric?
I wrote a check to the citizens
Excuse
of the United
me, sir.
States
Excuse me, sir.
for any
Excuse me,
amount
sir.
up to and
I'm not. Your time's going to be restarted. Ma'am, if you outburst again, I'm going to ask the sergeant on to remove you. We're not going to have that. Thank you. I appreciate you. I really do. You can continue. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's all right. I wrote a check for any amount up to and including my life as I served this country. I still receive, as a veteran, not a retiree, no health care subsidies. As business people, developers, doctors, and financial advisors, I find it disheartening to think that any of you could vote for that ordinance. Each of you campaigned on the promise to make Memphis better for underserved and needy people. What does this ordinance do to serve those people? I would rather see you pick 4 random people from any one of your districts every 4 years and offer them that same health care opportunity. Thank you for allowing me to express my opinion.
Thank you. Haven't seen you here before, but I appreciate you coming down and offering comments to what's happening in this chamber. Marcinio Pegram. If I butchered that, my apologies. Mr. Pegram, could you please approach?
Good evening.
Name and address for the record.
Marciano Pegram.
Marciano.
439 Bill. So, my complaint is we have a lot of blight in Fraser, 38127. I just acquired some property there in 2019 through 2020. And I got a lot of pictures of the trash and the debris in that area. I got a lot of evidence of a video, and I'm trying to straighten up the neighborhood. We need some Sky Cop cameras for the blight. It's an apartment complex back there, Section 8, and they cause a lot of problems.
I hope you don't mind. We're gonna pass the pictures around to the council members so we can take a look.
Okay,
Keep
so
going.
I got some older gentlemen. I'm the youngest of the crew. They 60 and 70. I'm only 50, so I'm a little younger, yeah. But I'm the spokesman of the neighborhood, and they want to join forces and pick up the blight. Now, we just did Winston. I got a property on Winston, 3588 Winston. I got an acre and a half over there. And there was a lot of truck tires, so they deliberately dump trash on that street and around the block. So we trying to clean it up. About 5 or 6 gentlemen to join together to clean up the neighborhood. And so code enforcement come through, but they only spray the property with red and green spray paint and said they were gonna come within a week or two to clean it up, but they never do show up. I know my time up. But we need some help, and we trying to put together a crew to get rid of the blight, and we need funding, and we're willing to work, and I need to know the procedures into filling out the proper procedures to whereas we can pick up the trash and stuff. We did this on our own on Winston over the last 2-3 days, over the weekend. So we did that on our own dime, but we need some funding, and we were seeing what's the procedure to go through for the funding for that procedure.
Thank you, Mr. Pegram. I'm going to have staff get with you and get your information, and I know someone will reach out. I'm assuming Councilwoman Isha Thomas, this is her district. We're going to get her staff to reach out to you to get some more information.
That'd be great.
Okay, apparently we already have your information. Hopefully someone will be reaching out with you soon.
Thank you.
And Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, you're in the queue. The floor is yours. 127.
38127. It's Cornell
Fraser.
and 51. It's a lot of blight, 4008, 3973, and 0 Cornell. That's my property there. So it's the whole street and around the block, and keep on going around. And I'm frankly available for anybody that want me to show them. I got plenty of time. Okay.
So apparently we already have his information, so we're going to be reaching out. If you want his information, please make sure your staff reach out. So someone's going to get your information shortly, but thank you for your comment. I appreciate you, brother. All right, Sharon Morning, are you here? Miss Morning, please come down.
My name is Sharon Morning at 10226 Sterling Ridge Drive. I basically want to speak about relieving C.J. Davis of her duties. First of all, I don't understand why the debate is up to even keep her. She has embarrassed us across world news. The actions that she has performed in other cities before she even got to our city. It's ridiculous that former Mayor Strickland would even bring someone like that corrupted to a city that is already corrupted. What type of message are you all sending the people if you keep her? She's corrupted from the gut. And we have seen that with losing the life of Tyree. I don't know what it's gonna take for you all who represent the voice of the people to start representing us. It's sad that we trust in you all to make decisions that is life altering for us. And you sit here and you don't. And there's nothing we can do about it. You bring chemicals into our neighborhood, put it in yours where your mother lived. Get it out of our community. Just because it's a poverty community, don't keep destroying the community. Shame on you that you didn't even speak to the people, but yet you allow these things to happen. Shame on all of you who don't listen to the people, but you come out and you asking and begging us to give you our votes. And we gave them to you, and you have let us tremendously down. CJ cannot be a factor in this city if you care about us.
Thank you, Ms. Morning, for your comments. We have Joshua Adams. Are you present? I did not see you back there, Mr. Adams.
Oh, can I just say one thing? I have a current lawsuit in with CJ Davis. It's a shame that Black women are constantly being raped, sexual harassed, and they are hiding our records, not even bringing it to the forefront to sex crime unit. And look that lawsuit up.
Thank you, Ms. Morning. Mr. Adams, the floor is yours, sir. 2 minutes on the clock.
Josh Adams, 1000 South Cooper Street, representing Memphis for All. Welcome new council members. It's good to have y'all, especially Pearl Walker. Even though I moved out of your district, I'm so sorry. Have mercy.
Okay, no more.
There's a phrase, institutional stupidity, that can be summarized as when an institution has resistance to change in lieu of egregious performance and circumstances. To create safety, MPD is allowed to pursue people at extreme speeds in 5,000-pound vehicles, endangering property, bodies, and ending human lives. In 2023, even with the death of Tyree Nichols, MPD pursuits killed at least 5 people. Most of these pursuits were over property. So to get stolen property back, we're willing to risk and take lives. This seems to be a habitual incident to devalue and extinguish lives and claim it was an act of heroics. We think our police officers should be held to a higher standard than our, superheroes on televisions that drive around and crash cars and break down buildings and destroy the city and kill, how many ever other people just to kill the villain, right? We don't think that this actually produces safety. I'm actually more worried about being hit by a random car because they're running away from the police than I am about being harmed by somebody or having my car broken into or being, having my car stolen. So I think that the failure of the police chief to both hold the department to a higher standard and rid the department of institutional stupidity shows that maybe she does not need to be confirmed, and that in order to produce an accountable department, you have to have an accountable head. But just to go over some of the people that were killed, rest in peace to Tyresha Pittman, rest in peace to a woman who was killed in Whitehaven, rest in peace to a man who was killed in Hickory Hill, and to 2 people who died in Parkway Village in 2023.
Thank you, Ms. Adams, for your comments. I appreciate it. Ms. Lexi Carter, please approach the mic. Ms. Lexi Carter. Ms. Lexi Carter, please approach the mic. The legend herself.
I'm sorry, JD, are you having, I'm sorry, are we having the discussion about, or CJ?
It's public comment. You pulled a comment card. Your comments are, you have 2 minutes to speak about.
I would rather come and speak when I had the proper audience for it. I don't think it'd be much good to do.
I mean, it's Ms. Carter, it's up to you. It's your comment card. If you don't want to speak today, I can just move it aside. It's up to you.
Okay, all right, I appreciate that.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. All right, Adam Nelson. You want these for?
My name is Adam Nelson, 1624 Faxon. This afternoon, Chief Davis repeatedly referenced the traffic dashboard that she claims to have worked on. The dashboard, however, is not required until March 11th of this year. The law required MPD to release raw traffic enforcement data as a simple downloadable file 3 months ago and update it monthly. In response to our public records request for this data, the city confirmed no such file exists. If MPD were tracking stops as required by the law starting 9 months ago, it would be a trivial matter to put the raw data online. MPD could have shown good faith by communicating and publishing what was available, such as the records of traffic tickets that Decarcerate Memphis reported to the city council just over a year ago. Those tickets are public record, but they aren't online. We requested the traffic tickets for January through August of 2023 through public records, and our request has still not been filled after 112 days and counting, compared to our request last year, which took 40 days. MPD doesn't even do an annual report anymore since 2019, which means MPD is now less transparent about its operations than it has ever been. Without these basic transparency steps, we cannot confirm that MPD is following any of the other laws. Chief Davis said last week that MPD updated their policies to mirror the ordinances. The MPD manual currently on their website was last revised more than 3 months after the data ordinance passed. The section on traffic stops has not been revised since 2013 and is not in compliance with the 2023 laws. Chief Davis should prove the policies have changed by publishing the updated manual before the next council meeting. MPD's failed to show good faith in even the slightest police reforms after police brutality that made international headlines. They should publish the required traffic data reports, and the city should provide Decarcerate Memphis with the requested traffic ticket records as soon as possible, and the city council should be our advocates in this.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. You have several council members with questions about some of the information requested. I know Councilwoman Logan would like for you to send that information to, I think it's important. I think it'll be very transparent and candid. We asked the Memphis Police Department and Mayor Strickland to enact ordinances and make sure they are appropriately implemented. And I think the more information this body has is over the next 2 weeks, put us in a better position to make a well thought out, well-reasoned decision. So please get the information to us. Could we get an email from Mr. Nelson so he can, and vice versa, so we can get some information from him? Thank you, Mr. Nelson. And I know, hold up, don't leave yet. I think Councilwoman Cooper-Sutton would like to ask you a question as well.
I just want that information.
Okay. So we all would like that information. Please get that information. I know you all work diligently to help enact some of those laws. I think it's important that we get as much information as possible so we can make a very wise and informed decision. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Trinity Williams.
My name is Trinity Williams, 2000 North Parkway, 38112. I seem to have some understanding that some council members may be a bit indecisive about the reappointment of C.J. Davis. There seems to be questions about who will replace C.J., who's next, what's next. But how can you ask about the future without asking what's now? How can you disregard the present moment that you are in right now? You have the position and the power to newly represented council people, the position and power to make decisions that the people are pleading. There have been too many families who have lost loved ones with silent protests. Families are silent at home grieving. We have had national attention from the family of the loss of Tyree Nichols, but we are still not combating this silence that we have in the city of Memphis. We have had national attention, the spotlight on us, and we are still not coming to the forefront and making the decision that this city needs, the country needs, that this entire world needs. Black death is known around the entire world, and we have a chance right now to make a decision to be able to change the betterment of the lives that people are suffering. Youth like me and many other individuals are suffering in the city of Memphis and more metropolitan areas because of police brutality, because of lack of data transparency, because of oppression, racial oppression, poverty oppression. This has to stop now, and I'm pleading, not just me, but multiple millions of young adults in Memphis, in the world, to make a decision now, and it's to claim C.J. Davis out of the position of chief of police, claim it now, to have someone come now that you all and the people of Memphis needs, that is not going to continue the oppression that people have had. Thank you.
Spoke with a lot of power there. Miss Trinity, we appreciate your comments. Mr. Massey, please approach the mic.
Good evening, Council. Richard Massey, 3615 Central Avenue. One DOJ civil rights investigation, several delayed reports, multiple young black men slain on Memphis streets, and countless black families deprived of their loved ones later. And we're here today to demand, not ask, but demand that our elected officials usher in an era of sensible, transparent policing. Throughout the last calendar year, this community came to this very council chamber as one Memphis, demanding in unison a change in our fundamentally broken police culture. After a vigorous period of endless phone calls, emails, doors knocked, flyers created, this community stood tall and rallying in the name of a man who lost his life in the most repulsive manner imaginable, 80 yards away from his mother's residence. 1 year after we fought diligently for the passage of important police reform measures, we're here yet again, following the news that the MPD under C.J. Davis never even enforced those ordinances. The required traffic data report that's included within the ordinances has been delayed since October 11th of last year. The last annual report produced by MPD was released in 2019. That's not to mention that despite the most expansive MPD budget in the city's history, we have yet to move the needle on tackling violent crime, contrary to other major cities ranging from New Orleans to Detroit to Houston to New York. Of course, there's no understating just how much of a tall order overseeing the Memphis Police Department is. But we as a city refuse to tolerate a continued pattern of unjust policing, beginning with MPD leadership. With that, I implore the council to weigh our prospects going forward. Will you be complicit in continuing a legacy of fractured community police relations? Or will you vote in favor of creating a transparent, accountable, and sensible police culture in our city? The choice is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Massey. Good to hear from you as always. Mr. Brandon Washington, please approach the mic.
Brandon Washington, 2000 North Parkway. I want to start off by congratulating you all for winning your respective elections. I know from experience campaigning can be hard, but you don't make it through without having a strong passion for bettering lives. I want to commend the incumbents for winning and retaining your seats by showing the people that you are still willing to enact common sense solutions to advance the city. I think special congratulations should go to our newly elected chairman and vice chair. Now, Vice Chair Canali, I did give you one heck of a fight for your seat, but eventually you came out and showed the people that you're still committed to improving the city. So I can't wait to work alongside you these next 4 years to make sure that you actually fulfill that promise. I also want to congratulate the new councilwomen, Councilwoman Green, Councilwoman White, Councilwoman Walker, and Councilwoman Cooper Sutton for winning their seats. I had the pleasure of meeting all you incredible women on the campaign trail, and I cannot wait to see you all fight for those plans that you talk so much about on the trail. Now, before my time ends, I want to remind you all that most of your races, even those that were unopposed, were won because the young people of Memphis showed up and supported you. I don't think I'll be doing my job as Vice President of Shelby County Young Democrats if I don't remind you that the youth of Memphis showed up and supported you because we believed that you would continue to listen to us and give us a voice when you got elected. And now you are elected, so prove us right. The young people of Memphis, both during the election season and even now, have shown you that we care about the direction of this city. So give us a chance to help steer this city in the right direction. I encourage you to think about what young people said today about issues such as policing in this city. As many of my peers have said, we need people in power who actually care about bettering the city. We need more people like most of you, not more like CJ Davis. We need people who will learn from past mistakes, not those who will continue to make the same ones. We cannot keep making the same mistakes and expecting different results. I implore you to not reappoint CJ Davis to the chief of police, because we cannot keep making the same mistakes. Give the young people of this city a platform to speak in your listening ears, and you will be amazed by the solutions we can come up with. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Washington. Thank you. Happy to have you here today. I'm gonna butcher this name. Mr. or Mrs. Wells, I'm not sure if it's Rovon or Roller. Okay, we're gonna move on from that one. Ebony Hodges. Ms. Hodges, are you here? Come on down.
Good evening, council members. I'm Ebony Hodges, address 6935 Wright LaGrange, 38018. My name is Ebony Hodges, and I serve as president of LaGrange Commons HOA in unincorporated Shelby County. For the past year, our community and surrounding areas have experienced an influx of unexplainable power outages with MLGW. When I state unexplained, because in prior years, we experienced power outages due to strong storms. However, more recently, there have been power outages on sunny days with little to no wind or rain. The same has been true for my 87-year-old grandmother who lives in the Whitehaven community. Since Christmas, including Christmas Day, lights have been out 3 times already since Christmas Day. I recently spoke to Commissioner Michael Wagley, excuse me if I say this, Whaley. Yes, I emailed him earlier today, and he emailed me back and let me know that Shantae Avant, will email me back. And I recently just met Ms. Walker, and I talked to her about that as well. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I don't see Ms. A from here. LJ is not here. Lucy is not here. Ms. Jaleesa Monet. Monroe, okay, that it. Would you please approach the mic? 2 minutes on the clock. There we go. The floor is yours, ma'am.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Good afternoon. Oh, no, this is evening. I'm sorry. Good evening. 4628 Benwise Drive, 3. This enough, right? Jaleesa Monroe.
Ms. Monroe, please proceed.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to talk really fast to squeeze a couple of things in. First off, as far as the CJ Davis thing, I can't really speak too much on that. I need to do a little bit more of my own personal research, but I do find it fairly insulting that she's not here today. But I will be back in the next couple of weeks, and I hope that she'll be here so that we can hopefully root for her, because I definitely want to see her win out here, okay? And I want to see her work very hard for the rest of the city. Now, what I really came here for is because I want to raise awareness just in the Orange Mound community. I don't think that there are any warming stations out here for our homeless friends, our homeless neighbors, and I'm very concerned about them. They're trying to stay warm as much as possible, but if we could probably get one of the centers out there, the community center, is that big enough? Thank you, Ms. Thornton. But yes, the community center hopefully should be big enough to hold all of the homeless people in that neighborhood or in that community, specifically around that community center. If we could open it up, I don't know how fast we can do that, but I know it's getting colder by the day. and we need that like immediately ASAP. And if you had needed an alternative, I have alternative mobile options as well, because y'all know I'm nifty and crafty. Also, I was concerned about there's no heat on the trolley systems, and some of the metal buses are breaking down with the weather. You know, when it gets colder, it gets harder on a vehicle. And I was kind of concerned about those as well. If maybe we can get some heat in the trolleys, because the drivers are cold, and I'm afraid that some of them might be getting sick. You didn't hear that from me. But but I just don't want them to, I'm really serious. It's really kind of cold in there. And they need some heat. I really am concerned about that. And the metal buses also, like I said, they're breaking down a lot in the cold weather, I've noticed. And is there any way possible we can probably do something about that if possible?
Thank you for those comments, Ms. Monroe. We appreciate you. We have a couple more comment cards. Ms. Felicia Boyd, she's here. And then, I hope you get better, and I hope your mom's okay.
I am 90% better than what I was on December 9th.
You look great.
Greetings, counselors, and Happy New Year to you.
Name and address for the record. I'm sorry, Ms. Boyd.
I am Felicia Boyd. I am a resident of 5258 Quincy Road, Memphis, Tennessee, 38117. I am also a retired City of Memphis employee for 22 years. I come before you today requesting that you vote no for lifetime health benefits for counselors that serve only 2 terms. I know you guys do a lot of work, part-time. I know that. I am a city employee for 22 years. We had lifetime benefits, and they were taken away from us 12 years ago, okay? My reasoning for this request is considered as an act of greed. Majority of council members have more than one source of income. Some of your constituents have 0 income, and they are on fixed Social Security incomes. It is also inconsiderate for you, not you current council members, I respect that, to even make such a request based on the mere fact that Memphis, Tennessee's population of 500,000 or more is the 5th city within the nation that is poverty-stricken. We lead the nation in child poverty. Were you aware that some of City of Memphis employees, particularly those in public works, general services, and park services, have elected to not retire because their pensions does not support paying for health insurance? It is more financially feasible for them to continue to work because their monthly salary is greater than their small pension.
Ms. Boyd,
Some don't have pensions
Ms. Boyd,
based on the 1968 sanitation.
Ms. Boyd, I know you want to
strike.
Please wrap it up for me.
I
Time
will.
expired. Yes, ma'am.
I didn't want to come down here today. I'd rather be in Nashville, observing and listening to what the supermajority in Nashville is trying to do to Shelby County and Tennessee. Instead, I'm downtown, observing and listening to what the supermajority in Shelby County is trying to do to their very own constituents in the city of Memphis. I do hope that you, as newly elected supermajority councilors, vote no to paying for lifetime health benefits for 2-term councilors. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Boyd. It's always good to see you. Tell your daughter I said hello. But Judge, anyway. Ms. Shirley Anderson, come talk to us. Nah, I'm ready.
Because I asked God to give me the right words about CJ.
Amen.
Go.
Miss
Shirley.
Could you say?
Anderson, 4080, Millbreast, number 7. Let's go. You said no gossiping It's all facts. Did not an old lady get killed in Atlanta before C.J. Davis got here? Do we not know what happened in North Carolina before what happened in Atlanta happened? Come on, somebody. Why was she brought here? To ruin us more? You mean to tell me that we got majors all over the Memphis police force that could not run our own police? We got to go outsource out of Memphis to run not only the Memphis Police Department, our children, our students. Is there not enough educated black people, white people in Memphis to run Memphis? We got to go to Hayward County to ask, can we get one out of office? How come we can't govern ourselves? I need all of you in Memphis that's on this council to get you some. And I'm not going to say the word, but get you some. And fear not. Do not be afraid to send C.J. Davis home. Send her home. Don't be afraid. If you have to have a private vote first to see where you're standing, go on and have your private vote. There's nothing funny about what I'm saying. Why do we hire a loser? She came here and her gun was took in no time. And then a week later, her house was broke in. Who the hell she protecting? Not me.
No profanity.
All the bodyguards around her, they ass could be working somewhere else in a police car. Get you some nuts. Oh.
Ms. Anderson. Ms. Anderson. Okay. Ms. Anderson has spoken. All right, we have two more comment cards. Comment card by Amber Sherman. Please approach the mic.
RSB. I'm so serious. RSV is really bad. I don't want to get sick. Y'all not wearing no mask.
Ms. Sherman, please state your name and your address for the record.
My name is Amber Sherman. My address is 6070 North Belgrove Cove. I think she broke it. It's okay. So the committee meeting this afternoon was very messy. And to me, it made it very clear that there's a lot of inner conflict and disorganization within the Memphis Police Department. And as a leader, Chief Davis has to be held accountable for her actions or inactions that have made that happen. It's not fair to us as Memphians to give her another chance, because what happens when someone else dies or someone else sues the city? How many folks have to be brutalized by police before we say we're going to give her another chance? That's not the type of leadership we deserve, and nothing Chief Davis has done has made us safer as citizens. Multiple times today, we were told that the ordinances are being followed, but we know that that's obviously not true. As you can see here from a picture that Miss Yolanda Cooper-Sutton actually sent me, an unmarked car stopped someone for a traffic stop just a few months ago. And it's insulting to us to keep playing in our faces. MPD has not released the required traffic data report that was first due on October 11, 2023, and every month since. But Chief Davis said they're following the ordinances. She also said that they have updated their policies to mirror the ordinances, but the MPD manual currently on their website said it was last revised June 27, 2023, and the section on traffic stops has not been revised since 2013 and is not in compliance with the 2023 ordinances. But Chief Davis said they're following the ordinances. Based on Chief Davis's statements, the statements of officers in the newspaper, and the letter Mayor Strickland issued before he left, it's honestly clear to me that Mayor Strickland conspired with Chief Davis to ignore the law at the detriment of Black Memphians. Is that really the person we want to entrust with the leadership of the police department? The citizens have told you no. So what are y'all going to do?
Thank you, Ms. Sherman. It's always a delight to hear from you. Mr. Walter Brody, give us the closing remarks and benediction.
Good evening. My name is Walter Brody.
I stay at 4256 Ledbetter Cove, Memphis, Tennessee, 38109. Happy New Year's to the new and the old city council members. You know, every time I come down here, people ask me, why do I pray for everybody? And it's just the God in me. Got to pray for all our leaders because y'all got a hard job to do. You know, just like the mayor, all the city council, CJ, it is hard to be over the police and somebody blame you over something that somebody else did and she ain't got nothing to do with. You know, you got gang members going around killing people and people ain't even just thinking about that, you know. But, you know, it just, people don't want to be responsible for things, you know. That's why I keep constantly praying for everybody. I even pray for everybody out here. And, you know, if we're going to get this city here right, we got to do a lot of fasting and praying. We're going to have to go and put God first. And I got these scriptures right here. And bear with me. I got Isaiah 60th chapter, 2nd and 3rd verse, and it says, "For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall rise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee, and the Gentiles shall come to light, and the kings to the brightness of the rising." And Isaiah 61 and 2, "To proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all that mourns." Hey, I didn't do this last time, but I would like to do this one thing. I want to get y'all get up and let's go and pray. I'm trying to pray for everybody and trying to get this, you know, so we can touch and agree. It might be our last time on this thing. And need y'all help too. I thank y'all. And Father, I want to thank you once again for allowing me to come down here, Father God. Father God, continue to bless all our leaders, Father God. Father God, bless our chair, bless all the city council members, bless both our mayors, bless CJ, bless all the policemen, bless our governor, our president, our vice president, bless everybody in this city, this state, this country, and all around the world. Cleanse all sin, iniquity, and transgression off us. Father God, we thank you for everything. In the mighty name of Jesus, amen. I thank y'all.
This brings us to the end of our agenda. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Canales, seconded by Warren. We are adjourned.